Hello, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 8. That episode is titled Divorce, Prayers, and Spider Scares. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You ready to do this?
Yeah, man.
Going in no particular order, which is just the particular order that we've been going in since the beginning.
Right.
Becca and Austin. At this point, this is the only couple that I see making it to even week 2.
Oh yeah.
Of being at home.
No, I see another couple, but still like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they seem to like really. And I hate the editing of everything too.
I just realized that I went against what I said we were gonna do.
What?
I was like, we're just gonna talk about the couples in general, not a particular episode.
Yeah.
And then I went straight into episode 8.
Right. I said, and I was gonna follow your lead.
Whatever. Go ahead.
We missed a few weeks. No secret. But we
I have a voice this week, so
yeah.
Yay me.
Yay her. Because man, imagine me trying to do this by myself. Yep. So Becca and Austin, I like them. They're playful enough. And serious. They hadn't had a moment to where they had to be super serious. Mm-hmm. Where things just didn't seem to be like right a little bit, you know?
The biggest disagreement that they had, or not even disagreement, the biggest thing that they had to discuss this episode was religion.
Yeah.
She's Jewish. He's a Christian. She said she never met a Christian that didn't want to change her mind. And I was like...
and he was like, hold my beer.
I was like, in Denver? Because that seems like a very Southern Christian thing to do, to want to change people's minds.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're the Bible Belt.
Yeah. No, I get you. I hear everybody, like, if you're not a Christian, then you're believing in the evil thing or the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I just didn't expect that.
My personal belief is not like that.
Mine isn't either, but you get what I mean, though. Like,
yeah. I'm like, believe in what you believe in, man. And I respect it because that's your belief. And we're going to keep it pushing.
And religion is
like, we drinking tonight?
Religion is a tough space to essentially be like, I have to change your mind.
Yeah. That's actually because they're not the only couple that brought it up. But I think this is a new thing. Like, religion. You know how every couple talks about the same thing at some point? Mm-hmm. Religion is this is the first time I can remember they brought it up.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny because after the season's over, those people don't exist to me anymore. So I don't really remember a lot unless it just like glaringly sticks out.
No, that's interesting though that's where they have to take it. But yeah, Becca and Austin, man, they just seem to click, even though it doesn't look like they would.
Why?
Because it looks like Austin is completely different from her. Mm-hmm. You know, like his hats, but you don't see like both of them are goofy in a way, and goofy is not a great adjective. This is the only one I have. Mm-hmm. But, it from the outside looking in, it just doesn't look like they would mesh well. But then, seeing their attitudes towards things and stuff like that, I didn't write much about them. So I'm just kind of like rambling. I didn't write
much about anybody.
One thing that I did appreciate is when they got to the apartment, they were like, we need to bring some stuff in here. Board games and the Nintendo 64. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, look at y'all going old school. Okay.
The person in me that has children is like, when y'all gonna have time to do all this? But as I think back to our life pre-kids, we did have time to do more activities.
And I mean, like, as the kids grow older, we'll make more time to do that. So,
well, no, I was just thinking about my schedule, and it's not necessarily that we have kids. It's legitimately the way that our schedules are in the evening.
Right.
There just doesn't mesh for the fun that we used to be able to have.
I mean, we still have some. I have fun. I don't know about you.
I said the fun that we used to have.
So you saying we changed?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did. Anyway, that's all I got for Becca and Austin. I don't even know. Did they talk to somebody?
Pastor Cal. You fell asleep. It was at the end of the episode. That's when they were talking about being a Jewish versus being a Christian.
Oh, okay.
What their religions, belief systems are, and that they were pretty much the same. Love and kindness.
Yeah. That's so funny, man, because I don't remember that at all. Anyway, next couple.
Claire and Cameron.
All right. I like them.
Another couple that actually moved in.
And
I'm not going to go far and say I like them.
No. Hear me out. I like them more than when I first did, because I thought Cameron was going to have a really, really tough time adjusting to being her husband. Mm-hmm. He's still working on it, but things are a lot better. From the airport to now, things are a lot better with them.
A lot. Wouldn't use that word, but they're better.
I would say a lot.
I'll give you that.
Just because.
I'll give you better.
Okay. He just didn't understand her, right? Like,
what do you think was the turning point?
Him going to the hospital. When he brought those flowers to her, mm-hmm. like, something just clicked, and you could see, okay, now he, what I'm saying? He just didn't, I don't know. Like, cause the thing that sticks out to me is when he didn't carry her, like, suitcase or something like that. And he was like, well, you say you want to be an independent woman. I get that part, but it's like, bro, if you see her struggling, help her. Or walking off away from her. Like, we're boarding the plane together. You know what I'm saying? That just really was like, bro, like, what's wrong with you? And then now to see them kind of playful when she went back to his apartment or his house, his basement, whatever you want to call it. His place of where he lay his head.
His place of residence.
They both like rice cakes, and he gave her whatever.
Vegemite. Vegemite is disgusting.
You had that before? Mm-hmm. I had never heard of that until yesterday.
Like he was saying, it's something that they grew up on, like where he's from.
Yeah.
It smells bad. I think it tastes worse than it smells. Mm. And it's one of those things that, like, I didn't like ingest it like she did. I just literally like licked a little piece of it, and I was like, this ain't it. I can't remember who got it for me. It was a friend who went overseas.
Yeah.
And they brought it back and was like, y'all, this is disgusting. Try it. It was one of those situations.
This is nasty. I'm going to spend my money.
Well, they didn't know that it was nasty. It's kind of like, remember when we went to Canada and we were like, poutine, gotta find some. Because everybody's raving about it, right?
Yeah.
It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what everybody here be talking about. You gotta have it. You gotta try it. They just bought some.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
They bought a couple of them because everybody's talking about how great it is. And so they had one. I think they went to Australia. They had one in Australia. Was like, yuck, but I spent my money on it. So now I'm going to bring it back to the U.S. and harass my friends with it. It's one of those situations.
But no, I think they're on the trajectory. Like, that's the thing, the expectation that we're not going to just be all over, fall over heels for each other. but we're going to grow into something. Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like they're doing. Like their trajectory from where they started to now is an upward trajectory. And that's the thing I can appreciate about this whole experiment and show is that it shows, okay, everything's not going to be perfect all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's things that we have to learn, because the thing that they talked about that I think was very key was how nervous they were to live with a partner, or how nervous she was, because this is her first time living with a partner. And when she says partner, I want to assume that it's first time her living with a man. Bless you. Bless you. That's not a family member. Mm-hmm. And that she's sleeping with, like in the bed.
That would be a partner.
Right. But
this is her first time having a spouse, so she wouldn't use that word.
Right. Funny thing about him, like them trying to figure out which side of the bed. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Well, I go to the bathroom a lot more than you do." It's like, bro, why your bladder is so childish?
I was like, he got to be pregnant.
Got to something,
man.
He got to stop drinking water at 8:00 at night. Got
to, or something. I laugh about it now, obviously, because I'm not pregnant. But that pregnancy bladder,
yeah,
man, it woke me thin in month 7 through the ending.
Man, I feel like when you were pregnant, it was like it was me and Lily, and then you was on your own. Because I was like, man, I get home and wouldn't see you.
I'm not going to disagree.
Be like, all right, Lily, what we doing tonight, man?
Everything about life was wrong when I was pregnant.
That's funny, man.
I was hot in my skin. Like, I wanted to shed a few layers of skin to not be hot. And I want that baby to get off my bladder both times.
That's funny, man.
But he got to get that baby off of his bladder.
Yeah, he got to get something off of it, man. It's childish.
I was actually talking to your sister the other day, and she was like, we were talking about the elf.
Yeah.
And she was like, that would scare her. And I was like, why? I be asleep.
What was scary?
Like, because I had seen the picture when the elf was drinking coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, that would scare me in the middle of the night. And I was like, why? I don't go down there. Yeah. She was like, I'm up 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night.
She got to pee.
I was like, yeah, but I wouldn't walk past the coffee pot because I got to pee.
Right. Go to the bathroom, go back to
And if I know where the elf is, it shouldn't startle me.
Man. That's funny, man. But I don't have much else with them. So, next couple.
I said religion might be a new issue for them.
Did they talk about religion?
Mm-hmm, because he used to be a Christian up until he was 10. He spoke out about something, and now he doesn't have a religion.
Oh,
and she says that she is faithful. Remember, I kept saying it to you last night.
That was her?
Yep.
Yeah, we had a whole little discussion about faithful. Because
I was like, I would never use
faithful
to describe my religious beliefs.
Yeah. Man, I used quid pro quo in a sentence the other day. Like I've known what this meant for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I never had a reason. Never had a reason to use it.
Have you used pro bono in a sentence though?
No, I haven't.
See, I would use pro bono before I use quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Why didn't that come out?
I don't know. Then, it's tough to just say it all together anyway. Just thought I might throw that in there.
Last but not least about them are 2 things. Her dog was ignoring him.
Oh, yeah.
And him showing her the spiders in the trap. I was like, chill out, bro. Nobody want to play with my spiders.
And when they walked up the steps, he was like, and messing with her, like, oh, let me get this out for you. She's like, stop.
Emily and Brennan.
All right. I knew who was going to be last.
Oh, this is just the order.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like literally, this is just
I got you.
the order that I've had them in.
Now, who pissed in his grits?
First off, you know how they say you got to be with somebody for X amount of time. Usually they say through all 4 seasons to know who they are. Of course, Married at First Sight shortens that and heightens it. But apparently, 7 days with cameras on you is too much.
Apparently. I didn't like that. Personally, it was how you go on this vacation having a great time, or seemingly
They were talking about being a power couple.
Were they?
Remember? I drive a Jeep. I drive an Audi. Were we like a power couple?
That's what she said.
But I'm saying they were talking about it because he chuckled and agreed.
But it's like you see that they're having a good time, and then as soon as they get back, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna stay at my place." Like that ain't why not have that discussion when y'all talking? Like,
my biggest issue with her is that she didn't bring it up in the moment.
She did.
No. Like when he said that, I would have been like, was that part of the agreement? Because when we signed up for Married at First Sight, we were moving into a neutral space together.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like addressing
I was like,
it.
Wait a minute, man.
Like addressing it in the moment, because she just had all those awkward looks around. Like, I don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, because I mean, like it caught her off guard because it was like a switch.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I get her response because it's like
that's my biggest thing is I wish she would have said something in the moment. Because like, what are you doing, dude?
Like it's crazy because I want to go to basically Brennan just one word answers, like not seeming interested in what they're doing.
Won't tell her if he's attracted to her.
Right.
Which, as she said, like after he gave all of his like word vomit, she was like, so I got my answer in that.
I didn't see that part.
You were asleep. She was like, I got my answer. Because she was like, are you attracted? Why can't you tell me if you're attracted to me? He was like, I'm not going to do that. Like he was saying with Pastor Cal.
Oh, he said it again?
Yeah, it was like they went more in depth after Pastor Cal left.
Oh, yeah.
I know you were asleep.
Yeah, I missed that.
But in the situation with Pastor Cal, he kept saying he couldn't tell her because he's hyper aware of everything with the cameras around, and he doesn't want to come off a certain way on TV. I was like, the way that you're not trying to come off as,
that's
exactly how you're coming off.
Yeah.
Because we're okay as the viewing public with you saying that a person isn't your type.
That's the expectation. Almost.
Because your type isn't working for you.
Right.
We're okay with, needing some time to adjust and figure things out. But the way that you're going about it, like, now he could argue that they had a conversation about this, like previously, but it seemingly looks like you blindsided her with this information, right?
Yeah.
And then after you blindside her with this information, you like, all right, so you just got to take what I'm dishing because I ain't moving in. Because at first, he was like, so you're going to work from here? And she's like, yeah. He was like, well, I can take my morning calls from here. I was like, oh, okay, so he's going to move in. Then he was like, I'm going to go to my house for a few days.
Yeah.
Wait, no, really back in.
Right.
Because when you said you were going to go to your place to tidy up, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We know that we have the situation where we go to each other's houses. I get that. You want to go over there without the camera crew, clean up your house. Fine. I'm cool with that. But you started off with, I'm going to work from here and then go to my place. I'm even okay with that, right? Because if I worked where I currently work and we were doing Married at First Sight, I wouldn't want to bring all that equipment out of the house, right? So I get me saying, I'm going to just work from my house and then I'll meet you back here. It's the same as going into an office. I'm just going to my house. But I'll be back at the end of every day. You just was like, nah, I'm going to work from there. And also, I'm not coming home.
Yeah, that's the wild thing because it's like, first off, this is what's going to hurt Married at First Sight as a whole. Because now you're looking at, we're getting people that actually are fans of the show and trying to create a unnatural narrative of them, which in turn, what's not understood is that editing or the producers are going to edit stories into it. You know,
they can't take more than what you give them.
Right. But they're going to create.
However, they can pull bits and pieces and show reactions at different times and all that stuff.
Like where you're trying to keep up this facade of things, there's a place where it breaks down. Like if you're on TV being untruthful about how you feel, your true feelings is going to show up at some point and they're going to get it on film. And so now they got a gotcha moment or an aha moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's ultimately, I think it's going to hurt the show because more and more people are going to do it. Like where we've seen people like having the option of not moving into the apartment. We've seen people saying, I want a divorce earlier than the day. So it's like, man, that's slowly gonna hurt the show. And then now he's in a situation where, like, the crazy part about it is she's not an ugly woman. She's very outgoing. Like, seems like she'll have a good time wherever she go. I don't find anything wrong with her just looking from the outside, you know?
And I mean, you can't make a person be attracted to somebody. However, nothing beats a failure but a try.
Right. And it seems like now, or just hearing the parts that I've heard, he's like wanting to quit. You know, I'm not attracted to her. Oh, okay, you're not attracted to her. Why? You know what I'm saying? And then you're saying, I don't want to talk about it. Bruh, like, you have to.
Right. That's what we're here for.
Right. Like, okay, you're not attracted to her. That's okay. Can this attraction grow? Because attraction grows. You know? It's like you have to talk through a lot of things. Being married, or I don't even want to say being married, just being in a partnership with somebody, right? You have to communicate with that person to make sure whatever end goal y'all have works.
Yeah.
That's group project 101. Got to communicate with each other, right? So saying I'm not attracted to you, or the question being asked, is attraction there? And your answer is, I don't want to talk about it. Like, what sense does that make? You know, and it's frustrating because I know how she feels.
Do you?
Well, I mean, like, I imagine I know how she feels, because it's like I ask you a question of my beauty, right? Am I pretty? And you say, I don't want to talk about it. I have to assume that you think I'm not pretty.
Exactly.
You know, so if it's important for me enough for me to ask you if I'm pretty, and then you're like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, God, dog, man, you really just truly hurt my feelings. Now, if you said you have pretty things about you, you know, all your eyes are real nice. So your
even
teeth
if you
is
didn't
white.
say pretty things about you, if you were like, am I pretty? Oh my God, your eyes are so beautiful.
Right. You said something that I have to go off of.
I would never be like, oh my God, he thinks I'm ugly.
Right. You know? But it's that thing. It's like, this is your wife, and I'm pretty sure they bounced back from it because of what we saw in the previews. But just this episode and where you're putting the couple.
You want to see if it's a bounce back or going through the emotions.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But it's like where you're putting everybody, it doesn't make sense that you're starting off this way.
Yeah.
Like back to the real world. Oh, snap. I really got married at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it is, you know, but I just don't like that, man. I'm off my.
He's displaying F-boy behavior.
Yeah.
And speaking of F-boys, Orion.
Didn't see that coming.
Man. So, beginning the last 2 episodes, they've been beefing, right?
Yeah.
Jumping into this episode, divorce has been on and off the table.
Yeah.
Initiated by Lauren.
Yep.
When the couples were all together talking about heading back home, he tried to save face in front of the other couples, basically saying we have more things to talk about.
Man,
we're just going through the ebbs and flows.
Didn't he? She was like, we having a rough time. He was like, wait. We're just seeing how it goes right there.
Now, he is the one who seemingly didn't understand how he was going to come off.
Yeah. He came off real bad. Mm-hmm. Especially in this episode, because us married people, like, I get it. She in turn called him a N-word. Mm-hmm. Right? It's hard for me, right?
I don't feel like she called him that.
Right. It's hard for me to know the impact of the other racial slurs, right? Mm-hmm. Because my experience, and I talk about this all the time, my experience as a man, mm-hmm. it's hard for me to feel where the woman comes from, right? So mm-hmm. let's flip it with racial slurs. My experience as a black person being called the N-word mm-hmm. from a nut at which it never has happened, thank God. Correct. But from another race, mm-hmm. It feels different, right? Mm-hmm. But from my race, it is what it is. I say it all the time. Mm-hmm. But I've never been in an interracial relationship, so I don't know how that experience is. And I don't think it's fair for me to say he should just get over it. But if you are into this experience or experiment, mm-hmm. and you're into her, I don't think it's fair to hold her foot to the fire, because there has to be some level there has to be a conversation about it. Mm-hmm. There also has to be some mistakes made in it. Mm-hmm. You know, just because everything's a learning experience. And it's like, the way I look at certain things is, if you know you're not supposed to say it, then don't say it. Mm-hmm. But if you're asking a question about it or making a joke about it, or, you know, trying to actually like innocently is saying something, you as the receiver has to see that, understand that, and then guide through it.
We had to have missed something in this conversation, right?
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because she says to him, I don't even know what all the derogatory words mean. And then she said, oh, as I'm looking at you, I can see the color of your skin. Mm-hmm. Then he goes on to tell her that it means something totally different than what she even said. Because also, she didn't say you are a.
Yeah.
She said, I'm looking at the color of your skin.
Yeah. I think what made it worse was that she laughed.
I'm fair about that, right? I could see that hurting your feelings. However, she didn't come out and was like, you.
Yeah.
And cussing him out or saying something crazy. She literally said, I didn't know what it meant. I'm looking at the color of your skin. She laughed, which, okay, I get that. You can be offended by the fact that she made a joke out of it. Then you told her what it meant. She apologized, and you was like, I ain't coming back from it.
Yeah. And that's the hard thing about it, because it's like, you have every right to feel how you feel. Mm-hmm. But having tougher skin about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at the end, like what did you join this for? If you couldn't, you can't take the like.
You don't have thick skin.
Yeah, if you just you hear it one time and then you're like, no, right?
I don't know. He must have been teased a lot with it as a kid or something.
I would imagine so, but because you think about it, it's you look at him and you're like, you question, like when he said I went out on a date with a guy or something like that, you already question his sexuality, right?
Now he questioned his own.
I questioned it the whole time.
No, I'm saying if
both of them.
But that's what I'm saying. She did it because they told her that he had gone on a date with a guy.
Yeah.
So if I find out that you go on a date with a guy, I'm like, all right, so are you bisexual?
Yeah. But it's like, for me, it's like, man, just
like, did you remember? I can't remember which comedian it is, but they was like, I went on a gay date by mistake.
I know what you're talking about.
It was like they had tickets to a game. I think it might have been Tahir that had that joke.
Yeah.
But did you go on a date with a guy by mistake, or did you willingly go on a date? Did you kiss a guy and you just didn't like it? Because you could also kiss another guy and like it. Like, it's levels to this, right?
Yeah.
And Lauren was a lot more open-minded than a lot of people would be.
Yeah.
Specifically Black women.
Oh, yeah.
And with Lauren being very open-minded about it, I don't feel like she ever like held that as like, let me make sure I pull this out of my back pocket when you piss me off.
Yeah.
It was literally just okay, people have their things. This is one of the things that you wanted to navigate through. Yeah. You didn't like it? Cool.
I think a lot of things compounded with him and the situation that they were going through, just because it's like, she say the thing about red skin, you explain to her, and I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't like that. Let's not have this conversation. This is what it means to my people. Mm-hmm. And I knew that the culture thing was going to be a big issue for them because they focus way too much on it.
Yeah. It was more so him with me as an indigenous man in the indigenous culture. Like, right. Everything went back to being indigenous, but we didn't know anything about Orion specifically.
Right.
It was all leading back to his people, his culture.
Yeah, his culture and everything like that. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's hard. It makes it hard when you have to go into a situation or a relationship with so many rules.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are just meeting each other. And there has to be some type of grace period, because that's what Pastor Kyle was talking about, or Dr. Pia.
Everybody talked about grace.
Yeah.
I think.
So you have to give a little bit so this person can learn who you are and where the disrespect comes from, because there's no reason for a person, especially this quick into the relationship, to be disrespectful on purpose. You know, getting to them and wanting to like try to, like, they said they was going to reset. And then here Orion is like, nah, I just can't get past it. I think it has something also to do with her having sex 2 months before, and he was just looking for a reason.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm supposed to put my life on a complete hold while I'm filling out some paperwork that thousands of other people allegedly. Because sometimes I'd be like, the people that y'all picked, y'all couldn't have had thousands of applicants.
They didn't have enough people.
Thousands of people applied for, and somebody I know called in the middle of the night.
Like, I mean, like, I get her point, right? Like, it's like, yo, like, we was just doing our thing. Like, her being just seemingly a sexually free person, you know, it's like, I wanted some booty. I got some booty. And I didn't have any obligation to anybody, at the time. So I don't see anything wrong with what she did. I think his response to it, he was just pulling at something to figure out, okay, how I get out
What's
of this.
my angle? Right,
because he was still upset about the redskin thing.
So I wrote, WTF. What are we doing here? You can't bounce back from I can't move forward to a full reset. Because that's what he did.
Yeah.
Can't move forward in this marriage. Let's do a full reset. Then it went from let's do a full reset to I want to continue the experiment or the process, but not being married. No, the process is seeing if we can be married. You don't want to be married to me. Cut your losses, bro.
It's over. That's it. We'll see you at the reunion. Type of thing. So it's like I just think he wanted his cake and ice cream, cake and eat it too. And you can't have it both ways. Why do they say that? The only reason I get cake is to eat it, not to look at it.
People are weird.
That's the silliest statement. Why I can't have my cake and eat it too?
Let me see. What else did I write? I said, I'm happy that Lauren isn't faking it for the experts. And he gaslit her about her reactions to the things that he said. Like, I can't remember exactly what his phrase was, but he was like, and then her response to what was being said. And I'm like, first off, you never said anything clearly because he dances in circles with his words all of the time. Like
he's in trouble or something.
Who asked him directly? It was Dr. Pia that came to them, right? Mm-hmm. Dr. Pia was like, can you move forward? He was like, well, I don't.
That's your Orion voice.
Okay, honestly, no, I can't. And it was like, that was a straight up yes or no question. We ain't need the dancing circles of your and honestlys and, well, when I think about it, yes or no? This is what Lily tells me. Mommy, yes or no?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Then Lauren asked him outright, was she the problem? And he couldn't answer that either.
Yeah. It's a lot of times that people they are afraid to say the truth because the truth looks bad, sounds bad, is bad. Like they understand that it's not supposed to be that way, and then it's going to look a certain way because there's a TV here, there's a camera here.
Being in this marriage which is the only one I've been in, obviously, has
you got something to tell me?
Helped me to be more direct with things. I was never an Orion talking circles person, but I was less, and I still am, less direct than you, right?
Yeah.
But it has helped my directness because now when people ask me questions about things, I do not hesitate to say, nah, that ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah. Like the thing for me is, it's like, I've always been mostly direct, but as I got older, I became very direct because confusion happens when you're trying to sugarcoat things or trying to figure out a way for people to understand it. So I've gotten into a habit of saying what I mean, meaning what I say, and then asking for clarity. And asking you, do you understand?
You used to get so pissed off at me for asking you, did you understand what I was saying? Oh, you used to get so mad.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Of course you
don't recall.
Anywho, the last note that I wrote is the way I would hurt Orion's feelings for being an elf boy.
Yeah, he set himself up to be unliked.
He would have got a verbal tongue lashing from me with Dr. Pia sitting there.
I think it's fair for him to feel the way he felt from the her laughing at the redskin thing. I think that's truly fair. But I think the unfair part about it was the hot and cold, how one day he's this way, another day he's that way. He's apologetic. He's this, he's that. He's trying to be a nice person. He's trying to, but you're still bothered. Stand on that.
Stand on it with the girth you claim you got.
Right. Like, hey, man, that really bothered me. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to get past it.
Right.
And be honest with yourself, because with that, there's let's talk about it, because that's the way you get past it. Mm-hmm. Like how you feel, what's going on, why this, and stuff like that, and find the root issue of it, because it comes out.
Yeah.
But trying to save face, trying to, hide your feeling about it, and ultimately making yourself run in a circle. It's like, man, that's stupid. Don't do that. So, right. Yeah, other than that, that's all I have, man. I hate that happened like the way that it did for them, because now we're down to 3 couples and they finna stretch everything out for an hour.
Isn't Michael coming back?
I allegedly? Have no clue. No clue.
We'll see. But right now there's 3 couples, and I think that this what took this season so long to debut. They was like, we usually have 37 episodes. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, trying to figure that out.
Like, how are we gonna edit this down with these 3 couples?
Because you also got one of those 3 couples that look like they might be on the
rocks.
The
they
trajectory
on the ropes right now.
To not even be wanting to talk to each other.
So
in a week.
Instantly, the season is a I don't want to call it a failure.
It is.
But it's a failure.
It's a failure.
Because you already have 2 out of the 5 couples. Everybody has to say yes. And I don't think we get a yes out of everybody.
Definitely not.
So.
I just don't understand how we got somebody here who didn't know he was going to be on camera and in a room with somebody 24/7.
I don't understand I get it. You can get tired of a person or being around a person, but like understand that y'all are in a relationship at this point, and the whole purpose of spending time with a person is to get to know a person. So not focusing on how you feel, but focusing on how do I get to know this person better. Mm-hmm. Put you in a whole different mindset of it. And I think what he's going through is a sense of buyer's remorse.
First off, you never thought that people that was married stay in the same place with each other? Because your mom and daddy are married.
Right. Just go talk to him.
But you grew up in the house with both of them there every day.
He grew up in the house from a kid's standpoint. Like, those are my parents' standpoint.
But they live there.
But never had the conversation of being married, for like them being married. Because like, how often are you asking your parents about what it takes to be married to a person? I don't ever think you know what I'm saying?
It's not because I don't think my mother can relate, but I mean, obviously she can. She's married, but I don't ever think about the being married conversation.
Right. But it's like those questions come once you are in the club. Mm-hmm. I've had more conversations with people about being a husband or, just being a husband. Because I mean, I guess there's no other way for me to be.
Absolutely.
About being a husband and about my time being in the relationship with you, the things I've learned, the things that, like where I messed up, where I didn't mess up, and how things kind of go, the similar situations and ideas and stuff of every marriage and stuff like that. Our podcast is about being married and being in a relationship and, just figuring those things out, because it's being in a relationship with you is not hard, but what makes it, life is hard. Mm-hmm. Life throws those speed bumps and, we have to figure out how to get over them.
Sometimes the car might just fly.
Yeah. And so it's like, figuring out those parts. And you got to understand, it's like, man, everything is a learning experience when you're married. Even day 1, year 10, day 40,000. It's all a learning experience. I don't know how many years that is, but it might not be. How many? Have you ever thought about how many days 100 years is? Anyway.
I just closed my eyes and shook my head.
Because
the whole ending of this conversation.
That whole process coming. Anyway.
You're literally like that gift that like the math equations are just floating by and you're like.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened in my head. But yeah, so it's he's going through something that he needs to face, and I'm talking about Brennan. He needs to face head on and understand where he is, because like I said, I think he's having buyer's remorse and regretting what he's signed up for, so that's all I got, man.
This you leave for 3 episodes or 2 episodes and come back on the 3rd, and the couples just fall apart.
Well, we didn't leave. We just,
we watched.
We watched it, but
Anywho,
somebody like ended up with no voice. So
don't fault me for that. I'm still under a doctor's care. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell. And Tommy seems to think that... Actually, let me not even say Tommy seems to think that. What do you guys think about this season so far? Like, do you think it's a complete failure, or do you think the 3 remaining couples can at least give us not necessarily a positive outcome as far as the divorce rate, but a positive outcome that we actually will enjoy finishing the season? Fair?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. We'll see you guys on Saturday morning for the Love Brew podcast.
Yep.
You got anything else happening?
Nah, man, I'm out.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.